What's good, team? Welcome back to a brand new video. I'm JD. I've been trading for over 6 years, and this is how to find a daily bias in less than 10 minutes every single morning. All right, so basically, I'm just gonna go back to a day. Obviously, I can tell what happened, so it's not gonna be a live trading or a look how good I trade. It's just about finding daily bias. All right. So first of all, what I do, I always log on to 15-minute and I just take a quick gander around. I just look, okay? 15-minute has been going down. Asia, London's been going down as well. Swept that Tuesday low from the week before. This was on Friday right here, all right? So now I'll hop on the daily. Sometimes I'll hop on the weekly, usually on Fridays and Mondays, but we'll skip that part because it's not relevant really. This is more like a me thing. So I'll hop on the daily. I'll just have a little look. Okay, we're clearly in an uptrend on the daily. We had a little sweep over here, swept this low. Been recovering ever since. We've been stuck in this bearish gap, right? Now, obviously, this isn't a one size fit all. But first of all, first thing I look at is who's been making more money in this market right now? Is it the people that press short or the people that press long? Because again, trading is a probabilities game. So if the market looks like this, I ain't shorting that shit. Even if it does this, even if there's a bearish gap, I am not shorting this shit because let me tell you why. There was a bearish gap here. There was a bearish gap. I guess I won't count this one. But you basically get what I'm trying to say, right? There's been bearish gaps. The bearish gap here, immediately reverse. Bearish gap here, immediately reverse. Bearish gap here. You guys understand what I'm trying to say, right? Like, I don't care that we're in a bearish for value gap. I'm happy to know, but I don't care. Okay, so overall we've been going up. We had a nice sweep of the Tuesday and Thursday, or the Wednesday and Thursday low, I should say. Even I guess the Tuesday low I'll count it as well as a sweep, right? And now we have the Monday candle, or the Friday from last week candle that's been creating this daily gap. We're retracing back into it. I'll drop into a 4 hour. So again, what did I do on the daily? All I did was identify the market direction. We're clearly going up. We just had to move down, but overall, it's just been moving up. Okay. I don't care about this gap. I don't care that I respected it. It's been going up. I'm not shorting. All right. On the 4 hour. Oh my, look how bearish this 4 hour looks, right? Big ass 4 hour gap here. 4 hour here, right? Again, I don't care. Zoom out. Who's been making the most money in this? You can take a short if you want. I'm not doing that. The way I do it is very simple. I identify my overall trend, which looks like this, and that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm going with. If you look here, it's kind of the same thing, right? Like right here, beam, boom, boom, little sweep, and then now I'm expecting this. After the sweep here, this would be a great day to long. I'm not gonna lie. Now, what you can do and probably should do is this is Friday 6 a.m. Right? You could wait for the 10 hour for the next 4 hour to close. See if we close this gap over here. That would bring us to 10 o'clock, right? Um, dropping down to the 1 hour. Again, all I did was identify my probabilities. Which side is going to allow me to position myself with the market? Now, on the hourly, I drop down again. I just keep going down like this. We're in an hourly bullish gap. We had this sweep over here of all this liquidity. All this accumulation here was swept, right? We swept all this. We swept all this inducement. We ended up even sweeping this last little low here that we've had, right? So I'll call this sell side liquidity, and I'll call the rest of this box that I kind of marked. I'll mark all this shit as inducement. Okay, inducement is basically engineered liquidity. All right, so all this shit, I'll even take out. Won't even consider the wick. I'll mark all this shit as inducement. So we have inducement all over here. We swept all of it, created a sell side here, took it. Now on the hourly, we have this hourly inverse for value gap over here that looks quite nice. We have this big hourly bullish for value gap. The market's on to realign itself with the bigger time frame here. You guys agree with me, right? Daily, 4 hour, all bullish, right? And now we're starting to bring back that bullishness after this big drop here, this big elevator drop that we had. Now, I drop down to the 15-minute, and I just kind of look at what's going on. Now on the 15-minute, we have a nice 15-minute bullish for value gap here that's stacked up on top of this hourly gap, right? Or this hourly inversion, I should say. If I was to put my Fibonacci down from the last relevant low to the current high, we're close to about halfway point. I most likely just end up slapping along from here to yesterday's high. And then along the way, you can take some TP. But the main trade idea would look something like this. So again, damn it, why can't I do it properly? There we go. And now from there, You can kind of, you know, mark out a few other area where you might be interested in taking some profits. Could be here, could be here. There's obviously also high here. That's obviously the one that we're gonna go BE or do something with it for sure. This is a 1 to 0.7, 1 0.8. So these here, the RR isn't too good. Wouldn't consider really taking profits, maybe going break even, and then here and here is really where we could take some profits. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the 5 minute just to kind of look at what's going on. Again, we have this nice fair value gap right here. This is a 1 to 2. I'd be willing to bring my entry up to here because I wouldn't want to miss out. Really, and it's not really FOMO. It's just being smart, right? I wouldn't want to miss on a 2R or I wouldn't want to miss on a 2R move because of a 0.1R difference of RR, right? It's kind of like the people that say, "Oh, I only trade one or 2RRs." It's like, okay, why would you skip on a 1.9R? Because it's, you know, it makes no sense. Anyways, um, obviously the stop could be manageable here, but anyways, so now we're gonna drop down to the 1 minute, and what I like to do is just identify like, okay, I have a 1 minute bearish gap here. As soon as we inverse, I'll market order in. Now, ideally, we do come down to the halfway point, so we'll kind of look at what's going on here. This is currently 9:44 a.m., so we'll just let that play out. It ends up inversing it. Oh my fucking god damn it. Can I bring it back? I can indeed. All right. So market order in right here. Now we didn't go past the halfway point. What I would probably do realistically is put my stop here at this point. Get a nice 1 to 1.8. Pretty big trade here. 450 points. Obviously, you know, you take some profits along the way. It could be smaller. I like taking trades like this. Sometimes I'll take smaller trades if the market's unsure. If we're at all-time highs, let's say, and I'm targeting internal liquidity. But in this instance here, we get the inversion. We have everything lining up. All our time frames are lining back to being bullish. So, yeah, I'm gonna slap an order here. Bring the SL, whatever. Right. Obviously, the amount of contracts I entered is arbitrary. I didn't calculate any risk or anything. This is more on you guys. It depends on you guys' account and stuff. And then we'll just let it play out. Uh, Obviously it works out quite well. We end up taking out this high here that we have marked out. We're gonna go ahead and put our stop over here now because obviously it could come back to break even easily. But if it breaks this low, basically our trade idea is kind of invalidated. We're going back to a bearish state. So we're just gonna do it like this for now, and we're just gonna wait and see what the market has for us in store. We missed TP by a tick unless my line wasn't drawn properly, but it looks like it was. So I guess we did miss TP by one tick here. So we're gonna let this thing play out, and this is basically what I would do if I was live, right? If we were to break this high now, because we've been going down, this high here on top of this green line right here, this one, I'd most likely go put my stop at this low over here. So we'll see what happens. Maybe we get stopped out here, maybe we don't. And oh my god. All right, so one point away from stop. So my stop is staying right there. I ain't moving this. Now we end up breaking this high, and oh my god, the discipline that this trade would have took. Holy, I mean, I'm not worried about me, but goddamn. All right, take 4 off. We have 4 for run for what's it called? For our last TP. Well, now we'll go break even to lock in our profits, right? And then we'll kind of just let this thing play out. And then if we create a lower high, and then we can break that high, or a lower low, I should say, and then we can break the high. We can easily. What time is it at this point? It's 1 p.m. If this was to go break a high, just like that with displacement, I would consider taking my SL and moving it here, which is exactly what I'm going to do, right? Lock in some more profits, and obviously we're moving back. Again, my whole trading idea is based off this right here, right? This is what the market does for a living. So again, if by going by these standards here, this low here should be the last low. Broke the high, made a higher low, broke the high again. So now we're back into an uptrend. Now this thing should never come back down to here. If it was to come back down, it would come back down to maybe like this area maximum, right? Like that's about as much as I would be willing to say that it would go down. So we'll just let this thing play out at this point, and we'll just keep spamming. This is probably the end of the day at this point. No, it's only 2. All right, so we can let this thing play out until at least 4. So we'll bring this thing to 4, right? Because market closed at 4, so we'll give it to the rest of the day and see if we can take our profits until then, or if we just get stopped out in profit. And all right, right here, close everything, close every position, day's over. Still a very decent trade, right? Ended up being a nice $4,000 trade. Obviously, the money value has no real value. The real thing is that we were in 8 units for a stop of well, it's hard to tell like that, but I think it was around 3K, right? So around 1 hour. Which is fine, obviously. You don't want to really target too high RRs, especially if you're on a prop firm, right? The goal is to kind of just make your money and get out. So yeah, so that's kind of how I identify bias and trade. I'll do another day just cause I know one day doesn't mean shit really. We'll go to Tuesday. I usually don't trade Mondays anyway, or I do, but I don't fuck with it all that much. So we'll bring it back here. We'll go on to hourly. We'll just get our time set up nice and proper. This is 9 o'clock, perfect. So again, go on to daily. What do we have on the daily? Same thing. This daily bearish gap just got inverse. Awesome. We have this daily bullish gap that's starting to get created. We might come fill that. No problem. Again, what do I look at? Who's been making more money in this market? It's been going up, uptrend, bullish. All right, I'm only pressing this button. This button doesn't exist to me anymore. I go on the 4 hour, same thing, right here, uptrend, breaking this high, breaking structure, whatever you want to call it. Again, only this button's available to me. I'll slap a Fibonacci on just to see if we do get a retracement where it could bounce, and then straight to the 1 hour. I don't want to spend too much time on the higher time frame. Hourly, kind of same thing. I'll do the same thing from this low from yesterday. Again, Fibonacci. Now we have a few levels that we can kind of identify a reversal at. We do want to enter on a pullback. Again, my whole thing, I'll say it again, is I trade this. But the goal when you trade this to enter here and here, right? Not randomly here or here. So again, this is kind of why I mark out these levels to kind of get that pullback, and then we can send it higher. Now we have a few 1 hour gaps. I'm not gonna mark them because obviously there's a few and we know they're there. We don't need the extra confirmation. Drop down to the 15 minute. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? We have this old high that I'm just gonna mark like this. Simply because sometimes it can bounce there and it's not quite at if it was past the halfway point, I wouldn't even consider it. But because it's before it, I'll kind of like mark it like slightly. I'll just put it like this, fuck it, and see if we get a nice bounce right there. And from there, move down to the 5 minute. Obviously, we're looking hella bearish at this point, right? We have a 5 minute bearish gap here that we've been respecting. We've been going down. That's kind of what we expected. It's 9:55 at this point in time. So we'll just kind of play it forward and see what happens. We get a nice move here, nice reaction. Inverse of the 5 minute right here. So this is interesting because I said I was only going to slap long, but we did not reach any of these levels. And there's a lot of them, but we didn't reach a single one of them. So I kind of want to see more from this. If it breaks this high, then I'll know that it's ready to go. If it doesn't, then it just looks like some weird shit to me, to be honest. Again, we did not reach that. We didn't even reach discount of this price leg here, which discount is basically this half of the Fibonacci, which is basically when price is discounted. So I'm not really interested in slapping along at this point in time. We'll wait a bit though. We'll see if we can get some more structure, and that is exactly why you do that. So we'll wait. We end up inversing it again. We had a nice sweep right there. Nice bounce off the 5 minute. Now we're looking like we might be ready to go, even though we didn't take this, simply because we had to move up, sweep, reverse that again. Nice reaction here on the 1 minute. Now I'll be willing to slap a Fibonacci maybe on this and kind of see if we can get a slight pullback. It goes up, that's fine. I go up with it. I'm flexible, We can slide this thing up as much as we want. Get a nice tap of the fib here, nice respect. We're gonna go here because realistically I would have entered as soon as it kind of inverse. So we're gonna put this thing right here just to get tapped in. SL at the low, at the low where you put the Fibonacci, obviously. TP could be either at this high, but me personally, I would definitely end up putting it at this high or something just to get a bigger RR. Last TP would be up here, obviously. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna slap a 4-con TP right here. Obviously, this could go straight to SL. I don't really care for it too much. I know my model works. So we'll just slap it right here, and we'll let this thing play out, see if it works out in our favor. We end up going to some pretty deep drawdown here. Ends up wicking OTE quite nicely. I might even add to this position if I was actually in this, especially if it inverses 1 minute. If it doesn't inverse it, then I probably wouldn't add. Yeah, I probably would add here. I'll actually add 4. Fuck it. I'll do it like I would actually do it normally. And then see what happens. Ooh, big move down again. And this is a choppy day, isn't it? It's 11 at this point. TP hit. We bring this thing to break even. We'll put 4 more contracts of profit at this low here, just because we kind of need another target. So we'll put another profit taken right here. We're break even now. We locked in our profit, and we'll let this thing ride. End up taking our other profit. Perfect. I can bring my stop to this low here. And from there, simply because that's where our trade ID is invalidated once again, right? It could sweep all this, but if it goes down to here, that's crazy. So we'll let this thing, if it breaks the high, I'll move my stop again. It breaks the high, ends up coming down quite heavily. This is kind of the liquidity suit that I wanted to see. We ended up getting stopped out. So if this thing had ended up bouncing like around here, I would have brought my stop to here. But now because this happened, obviously I'm gonna let myself get stopped out at break even. That's fine. Still a if 1R is around 300, we probably made. Did we only make 800 on this? How is that even possible? Is it possible? Or were we risking less? It was a much smaller trade. I think we were risking 5. I think we were risking 500 and we ended up making 8. So yeah, around a 1 hour. 1.3 hour or something like that. So again, decent trade. And again, very, very simple, guys. Oh, okay. I just go on the bigger time frame. And I wasn't even looking at ES at this point. I was just looking at AQ, but I just go on the bigger time frame. And who makes more money in these markets right now? If you look at this, who's been making the money here? Is it people that press the red button or the blue button? Right? Like who's looking like it's making the most money in this right now? I mean, obviously there's small segments where there's people that short, but overall for the most amount of days, like it's the people that long. So why would I press short? Even if it's on a short-term 15-second time frame, 1 minute time frame, why would I? Align all your time frames together. Notice how easy life becomes. Anyways, so I just wanted to help you guys kind of find your daily bias. I tried to make it as quickly as possible. Also gave you guys a little insight on how I trade. If you guys like what you saw, I have a free Discord, links in the bio. You can also like, comment, subscribe. It helped the channel out a ton. I love each and every single one of you. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.